Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of Rendezvous with Anza Saqib on CxO Global TV. CxO Global Forum is a knowledge sharing platform for all C levels across the globe. We take massive pride in contributing to the knowledge economy with our league of extraordinary ladies and gentlemen who are not only domain experts but those key thought leaders who have made a significant amount of difference in the field that they're working in. Today, as well, we have a very prestigious guest with us, one of our members. He is the country manager of BIMA Pakistan, Mr. Murtaza Khalil. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you. Um, Mr. Murtaza Khalil, we're very curious to know. It's, mashallah, a great position that you're in right now. But what led you to this step here, and how has the journey been so far? Uh, did you face any challenges? Where did you start off? Where did you go to school? What languages you speak? All of that.
Okay. So it's an exciting journey, Anza. And I belong from Karachi. And I went to a school called CAS. And then did my master's from College of Business Management, CBM in Karachi. And from then on, I joined my first job, I remember, which was AIG, which is one of the world's largest insurance companies. And I
Right.
remember I saw the job posting right in the college, area corridor, and I applied and I got the position as a portfolio analyst. So that's where when the journey started, and from then on, it's been exciting so far. From AIG, I then went on to different other institutions and banks. And then I joined a telco company as well, one of Pakistan's largest telecom company. And staying within the insurance field, but with different industries, whether from in an insurance company or within the banking sector, gave me basically a very wide depth of knowledge as far as insurance distribution, sales, and strategy is concerned. And I also got to understand how people can actually contribute more in the insurance sector in Pakistan within these different areas and different industries. And
Right.
yeah, so that's my journey as far as the sector is concerned. And one of the most remarkable things that I've seen is throughout this journey um, is the rapid increase of use of technology, especially in the distribution of insurance and platforms. And I remember back when I started out in the insurance and banking sector with motor insurance and life bank assurance policies. They were all dependent on hard copy documentation and customer documents, etc. But it was when I joined the telco, when I saw the power of mobile technology and how it can be used to propagate and to penetrate insurance within the sector.
Right.
Um,
It's interesting, sir, that you mentioned this aspect because, whenever we think about insurance, first thing that comes to mind is insurance agents and then lots and lots of paperwork, policies. So I want to touch upon the point that you mentioned. How is technology changing insurance as we see it? And what exactly does BIMA Pakistan do?
yeah. So, Anza, technology is extremely important today, and previously we used to hear that technology makes things easier. Um, Today, technology is making things possible. The pandemic situation has drastically changed the environment in which we are working, and without technology like internet devices, 4G technology, without software like the one which we are using right now, without proper hardware like laptops, etc., we would not have been able to work in the current scenario which we are facing right now. So technology, one A, is making things possible. Secondly, I think it's drastically changing and affecting the world economies. If you look at China now, it's amongst the top people contributing to the fintech space and fintech sector. And if you see Pakistan, and it's making headlines everywhere, that in Pakistan in the first half of this year, more than 120 million dollars has been invested in fintech startups. So all of this is possible due to technology. Apart
Right.
from that, I think one important contribution that technology is making is it's allowing us to change the composition of the workforce. And how is it doing that? It's allowing people, both women and men, to work from home. And women have definitely benefited from that. So we can see more women who can work from home, spend time with their children and at work without having to
So there is
compromise
financial
on other
inclusion.
things.
Right. So
Sorry?
there is financial inclusion.
Yeah.
Sir, but with regards to insurance in particular, how exactly do insurance and technology join hands?
Okay, so a great example of this marriage of insurance and technology is BIMA itself. So, I mean, I thought that I had learned a lot when I joined a telco company and was leading the insurance side over there. But when I joined BIMA, it was 2x, which meant that I got to learn what insurance is doing with technology, not just in Pakistan, but in 9 other markets around the world. So we operate in Ghana, for example, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Indonesia. These are some of our larger markets, and we operate there in harmony with technology and actually use technology to ensure that we're able to distribute effective, affordable, and easy to use insurance products. So, just to give you an example, globally we have 37 million customers now. And out of 37 million, I'm happy to say that 4.3 million customers are existing in Pakistan only. So we are the largest market of BIMA. And coming back to the point of technology, the reason why we are successful is that we have been able to integrate effectively with mobile telco providers, not just in Pakistan, but in other markets around the world. And we've been able to effectively utilize that technology to ensure that people are able to get a daily deduction instead of a monthly deduction. So, I mean, Anza, for example, if you're asked to maybe uh, pay 42 rupees a month, I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem for you, but for a large area, a sector of our population, 42 rupees is also an amount which they need to consider. So if they're able to pay that on a daily basis, just imagine the ease of which they can actually access those telehealth services, which are 24 hours a day, and also get access to insurance, per day insurance limits as well, which can provide them additional protection and cover. So this is
Right.
how BIMA has wonderfully utilized technology and wonderfully, joined that to ensure that we, as our vision says, that it's to protect the future of every family. So we're using that to protect the future of every family. At least we're trying to. It's a long journey, but
Absolutely.
we're getting there.
I agree. Sir, you made some very valid points, but from what I know of BIMA, is that it's a micro insurer that mostly focuses on emerging markets. So, like you rightfully mentioned, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Cambodia, so on and so forth. Um, but say here we also have another problem. It's much, easier to sell insurance to Western markets as opposed to, South Asian or emerging markets. I've seen that a lot. Um, but we also hear the narrative that you don't have to sell life insurance, it sells itself. Uh, what challenges did you face in the narrative building for Bima Pakistan in particular? Because I'm sure you heard a lot of the colloquial phrases like we don't believe in insurance because we believe that Allah is going to be our protector and safeguarder and so on and so forth. How did you bring about that change?
Yeah. So, Anza, basically ensuring that we take the customer needs into account is very important. And if you have a product which caters to the customer needs effectively and which is providing a service that people use, it will automatically support the narrative. So, for example, one of our core value propositions is telehealth services, right? So, telehealth services is something which we offer 24 hours a day. So, let's suppose there's somebody sitting at home and it's around 11 p.m. in the night, and there's some issue which they need to consultation on. It's very difficult for people, especially in the majority of Pakistani areas, to actually go out, take a car. First of all, maybe the conveyance is not available. Maybe they are not allowed to go out at night. Maybe it's not secure enough, right? And in the current pandemic, there's another risk of infection which has been added on top of it.
Absolutely. And
So
speaking about
this,
the pandemic, sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you for just a second, but in your
no, no,
answer, if you can also address the fact that with the pandemic in particular, a lot of insurance companies initially did not cover COVID. And as an analyst for that matter, saw that it was very inhumane to do so because now most of the deaths that we were hearing about were related to COVID. So if you could also please address that in your answer.
yeah, sure. So, as I was saying, the telehealth services that we provide, they are so valuable, especially when you talk about COVID. That, for example, if you're unable to go outside of your home and you're unable to go to the clinic, etc., because of risk of infection, for example, you can simply call our helpline and talk to a doctor any time of the day or any time of the night. And we have certified, qualified team of doctors which are sitting there. We also have a global team in London who's very effectively managing the M Health proposition. We call it M Health globally, which is mobile health. And that is being managed very effectively to ensure that the proper procedures are followed when giving that service, that telehealth consultation service, so that customer service requirements are met as well. We need to keep our customer service number one. So, because we are providing such services, automatically it is supporting the narrative to make sure that people generally opt for such services themselves. And when you talk about COVID protection, one of the great things in our policy is that it's giving a per day benefit. So, for example, let's talk about the cheapest product we have, which is the rupees 45 rupees product, for 42 rupees product, and that is giving a per day limit of around 1000 rupees per night for 30 nights. So that is given based on your hospitalization, and we just give it on a per day basis. So we do not actually see that what is the actual cost which is being incurred. We will simply give it on a per day basis so that the customer is not made to go and provide unnecessary requirements and proofs and efforts to actually claim for what he's entitled to. So we made it very simple for the people to get that amount. So I think all these things said, and this entire package said, if your proposition, I've got a firm belief that if you have a proposition which effectively is giving what the customer needs and requires, it will automatically build the narrative. The customers themselves will spread the word. And that is what we have noticed. One thing which is very important, you said that life insurance is bought and not sold. I think it's also important to reach out sometimes. We assume that people know about these products and these insurance products, but you would be surprised they would probably not know about all the details. So it's very important for also to inform the customer about what the product benefits are, so that when they listen to it in their own language, they can then understand, and then they're able to communicate their interest in that product. So promotion is very important of the product.
Right, sir. We've got a lot of questions coming from the audience that are watching us right now. And one of them stands out. Mr. Varis is asking, can you please ask him what does he think about insurance adoption in Pakistan, considering the digital literacy rate in our country? How is BIMA creating awareness of micro insurance in Pakistan?
Okay, that's an interesting question. Thank you. So, I mean, if you talk about insurance penetration, it's 0.9%, which is means 0.9% of our GDP, right? It's low, and it's hovering around that figure for quite some time since I've been in the industry. And but I believe that we are at a place where we can rapidly increase this. And how can we increase this? Again, by mobile penetration, because of mobile penetration. When our co-founders, Matilda Storm and our founder Gustav Gertsen, when they made this company back in 2010, and founded it in Ghana, one of the core uh, basis of founding it was that they knew that there was high mobile penetration, but it was very difficult to see a high insurance penetration. So they saw, why don't we distribute something that people need, which is affordable and easy to use, through a mechanism which can reach people quicker and easier, and which was telecom and mobile phones. And because of this, I believe that now this narrative is changing. So for example, um, 4.3 million customers having telehealth services right now. That's just our customer base. So you can just imagine how quickly we've gained traction in just a few years. We started in 2015 in Pakistan. So you can imagine the sky is the limit. And with the sort of mobile penetration in the market, I think if we're able to communicate our products effectively and reach effectively out to them, we will be able to increase this penetration and help and support our country in making sure that people are protected in times of crisis.
Right. So thank you for sharing that valuable information. But moving a little bit towards your own personal journey, what do you think are your best accomplishments?
Yeah. So, Anza, I think one's accomplishments can be compared to the challenge as well. So, the harder the challenge, and if you're able to overcome that challenge, that should be your one of your best accomplishments as well. So I think one of the hardest challenges which I faced, and which I think a lot of executives are facing in Pakistan, is how they are dealing and how they have dealt with the current pandemic situation. And one of the greatest challenge I faced was making sure that, I mean, I joined the company in 2019, and a few months down the
Wow.
road,
In
we
the
were
middle
stuck
of
with the
the,
pandemic.
yeah.
So the biggest challenge I faced was, how do I maintain my workforce morale, the motivation of my people, ensure that I'm meeting the customer services, that we're paying claims, that we're providing effective telehealth services, and also ensure that we're meeting our targets and our forecasted budgets. So it was a big challenge, but I'm really happy to say, Anza, that when we were entering the pandemic or before the pandemic, we had a few thousand employees, around 1100 employees. Today we have 1500. So we have
Wow.
actually grown, and
And created jobs during the
we have
pandemic.
exactly, we have created jobs during the pandemic. It's been difficult. There have been challenges. We had to invest a lot in terms of technology. So, for example, we've invested in MiFi devices, which are dongles, internet devices. So all of our employees have those devices so that they can work from home. All of our employees have laptops; they can work from home. They have the telehealth services that we provide to our customers. Our employees have that too. We've had to vaccinate our employees. So around 1,000 of our employees so far, we've gotten them vaccinated by helping them, by incentivizing them, and also by helping them to get conveyance from our offices to the main center. So we've had to put these things in place. We've invested in cloud technology with one of the leading providers in Pakistan. So we've done all this to ensure that we are well poised to deal with this challenge. And I think that is one of my accomplishments. But I wouldn't just say my accomplishments, is the team's accomplishments, because I think nobody can accomplish everything themselves. I think it's the local team and the global team that have supported me in coming so far.
Absolutely. And that brings me to my next point. What is your leadership style?
Okay. So I believe in one thing. I think management is about developing people. I believe in that strongly, and that is at the core of my leadership style. I believe that if we can make a positive difference in the life of the people who we lead or who work with us, I think that is our um main accomplishment and a key accomplishment. And that is what drives my leadership style. So, if, for example, I feel that I'm able to contribute to my team, then that is the style I'll approach. I'll generally include them in decisions. I have a very participative approach. I take their views, and I like to ensure that whatever I can do to better their own career, I like to see how that comes out to happen, and that is what gives me a sense of satisfaction.
Right. So you've made some very valid points, but unfortunately, we're heading towards the end of today's show. But there's just a couple of more things that I would like to know from you. What do you have planned in the future for BIMA Pakistan? Uh, are you planning on reaching out to remote areas of, let's say, Balochistan or GB, so on and so forth? And what new interesting things are happening technology wise?
Sure, great question. So I think in the near future, we are working on launching our BIMA Health app. So that is something which we want to bring very soon. And that will allow customers, so for example, they can access health programs. These health programs, Anza, are very effective in providing information on diabetes, hypertension, on nutrition, on general health, on women and child health care as well. So all this information will be available on that app. Individuals can also call a doctor through that app and also view their policy details. So that is something which is very important for us to bring out right now. We also want to reach out to more customers, as you've said. So we would love to help and support and work with the government in initiatives like, for example, the Sehat Sahulat initiative. If we can contribute there, that would be an amazing thing that we could actually do, and maybe public-private partnership could happen there as well. So I think these are some of the things where I think which we're focusing on in the near future, and we want to reach out to more customers, engage with them, and provide the sort of information that we can through these health programs. One other thing which we are doing is also partnering with like major entities. So, for example, we've also partnered with Sanofi in providing diabetes and hypertension information to customers, and also a referral program. So for example, if a customer calls in and he wants to be referred, so he can be referred to certain doctors who are specialists in their fields. So we're setting all that up to ensure we serve our customers better and more effective way, and using technology in an effective way. I think in terms of technology, what I see is that there are it's a budding industry, even the health tech space. I was at a digital health conference yesterday, and we saw that there were many players over there talking about the digital health space, and it was really heartening to see so many individuals now coming up and working on improving the telehealth space in Pakistan, and all using technology. So I think this thing will keep on growing. I think we are already seeing the results of a pro digital policy generally in the country. uh, as I stated before, more than $120 million invested in fintechs in Pakistan. Um, so I do see that. I think technology and will definitely pave the way for future innovation in Pakistan, and future growth.
So you are positive about the, I quote, Digital Pakistan initiative.
Yes, absolutely. Digital Pakistan, I think, uh, if as long as we can have a digital solution, and we can think of a digital solution first for any socio-economic challenge that we are facing, we can definitely go towards a digital country and a digital future. And I think we've done that in some sectors. Health, for example, I've already mentioned very in deeply that it's happening. EdTech is also there. I think even CxO Global had probably a session
Yes,
on
yes,
EdTech some time
yes.
ago. So I
Right.
think that's a budding field. I mean, and as long as we think of digital solutions for these socioeconomic challenges, we're heading towards a bright future. And the one advantage that digital has over normal channels is that it reaches out quicker, and it provides us quicker access, and customers can get the voice across in a faster manner as well. So I think these are some of the things which I would like to mention.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also inform you that Mr. Murtaza Khalil and BIMA Pakistan are one of our partners for the upcoming InsurTech Summit that starts tomorrow. We're all very excited. And so, would you like to tell our audience what, maybe give them a teaser about what all we'll be talking about?
Yeah, I think I think there's a lot to see tomorrow, so I won't give everything away. But all I'll say is that if you want to know more about what's happening in the health tech space, in the insurtech space, and how we're working towards improving things and contributing more to society, protecting them more, then please do see the session on Friday and be part of it.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Uh,
Thank you.
it's been an honor. Thank you for enlightening us with your thoughts. And towards the absolute end, just briefly, what do you think is the utility of forums like CXO Global?
Okay, I think. The main utility is, I think, getting people together. I think it seems easy in today's day and age where people are on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on LinkedIn, but actually bringing them together. I think CXO Global Forum is doing a great job. I think I attended your dinner in Karachi as well, or a lot of CEOs were there, and there was a excellent discussion with one of the universities, Ikra University, I believe, and also this forum. It's bringing people together. The InsurTech Forum will bring some leaders together, myself and some other CEOs of telcos, together to actually have a good discussion on the topics that are actually changing Pakistan. So these forums are extremely essential to bring people together.
Right. Thank you very much for your time,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank
Ladies and
you.
gentlemen, that'll be all for today. If you want to learn more about the kind of work that Mr. Murtaza Khalil or BIMA Pakistan are involved in, please get in touch with our team, or we've shared some links in the description below. Keep us updated with your feedback, it's valuable to us, and keep watching. Thank you.
Thank you, Anza. Great being here.